Hello everybody. Thank you for tuning into this video and I hope you're having the best day ever. I certainly am and am super excited to share with you about cacao ceremonies and how I work with this powerful medicine, which is a heart medicine first of all. To the Aztec people, cacao was heart blood, and the Aztecs and Mayans used cacao in their own ceremonies and rituals over the years. And now we are rediscovering how powerful this plant is and the different ways that we can use it. The biggest property of cacao is that it brings the heart rate to increase, it brings the heart to open. When you drink cacao, you feel this deep warmth coming into your body, and it's, yes, ideally consumed as a chocolate drink, a warm drink that you can add different spices to. I have my own recipe, maybe I'll share, and we take 40 grams of chocolate. So this is a block of chocolate, it's a brick. This is about 10 portions of cacao, fresh from my teacher in Guatemala, where I've studied over the past 6 years. And also, so many people were stepping into their own magic and mastery with cacao in this area, San Marcos La Laguna, at Lake Atitlan. So cacao is a plant of creativity, and everybody has their own unique way of meeting cacao's call of the heart. So cacao can be combined with yoga, with kirtan, with toning or singing, with sound healing, with intimacy or tantra exercises, with meditation, with just about anything. And people have definitely tried it or are trying it somewhere around the world. So cacao is really versatile, and unlike other plant medicines that kind of force you to go on a specific journey, cacao is a partner, not a leader. It simply allows you to access the partnership of your own heart. I work with cacao in a pretty unique way, and I can just say that what I find to be the most important of all cacao ceremonies is really this shared space of co-creation and the creation of a container that allows for vulnerability, transparency, and honesty for everyone to be exactly who they are. And so this is one of my main intentions beyond all of the added goodies that I use as healing modalities. What I see as my first purpose is to create a space where everyone is free to be who they are and encouraged to bring all of themselves to the table, because sometimes we live in a world, even in spirituality, where we're encouraged to be superficial or cover up our emotions or act a certain way, when really we allow the deepest degrees of love to enter us, when we're allowed to bring what challenges us, the things in ourselves that that we can't feel love for, what we may not like about ourselves. We're allowed to bring all of that to the table, all of that to the group, and when we can share that, or at least have the intention to find healing for that within the ceremonial space, we go to the deepest levels and layers of love that we can access. We allow that love to go into those parts of ourselves that we may have constricted or cut off. So it's that container of connection where we all consciously connect with each other, and we hold that connection in intention of supporting each other, of loving each other, of holding that field of love in this container so we can ripple that love out to the entire planet. On a bit of a metaphysical side, my teacher said that the cacao spirit came to him in meditation to start him off on this journey. He didn't have the chocolate in his hands before him. He was simply meditating after arriving in Guatemala, and the cacao spirit came to him in meditation, and she said that she wants him to find out why the cacao is such an important plant for our awakening. And eventually the cacao spirit called herself the food for the shift. So it's the shift into heart-centered, love-based consciousness. And the degree to which cacao increases your ability to feel empathy and to feel your own emotions is part of the reason why it's so powerful for that. So cacao takes us sometimes deep within ourselves, or it also allows us to connect with others. It can bring out this great passion and love as our heart catches on fire. And sometimes this powerful love then allows us to get in touch with emotions that may have been repressed and bring them up, bring whatever kind of beliefs or ideas or traumas that have caused those emotions to be lodged in our bodies to the surface, so then we can heal all of it. And there's many different ways that people do this, and I worked with a teacher for many years who would really guide different processes and guided meditations that I sometimes use, or I develop my own pathways to do the same thing just from having that experience. And those can help people really, get to the deep root cause of why something may be happening or why there's this certain pattern. And as well, it helps people develop their own intuition, their own ability to hold that space of the heart open for another person to heal. So I've taken this even deeper. I went to a sound and chocolate training to incorporate sound healing into ceremony, and that has given me a very powerful tool to create as well a sonic healing space. So I use different tuning forks and crystal bowls and chimes that allow people to go into this sort of hypnagogic journey that allows them to maybe open up to greater insight or vision, or take those sounds into their body, into their bones, into their cells, so that their whole body gets this deep relaxation wave of energy. And I have as well a practice that allows us to use our voice to tone our chakras and clear all of the chakras, and as well use the power of our voice to manifest our intentions in a certain meditation that's also very juicy and powerful. And the one thing that I also fuse with cacao ceremonies that I haven't seen anyone else do quite yet, and I find it to be a really incredible way to dive deeper, is to use the channeling. So I am a channel for an extraterrestrial group called the Pleiadians. They are, in a way, our ancestors. They have contributed a lot to human evolution. And at this time of our collective ascension, many beings like the Pleiadians are more accessible for us, so we can really get in touch with them. And when they come through, I allow them to speak through me, and they deliver messages that are specific for that group, and as well specific for our awakening at that given time. And people can ask any questions about their own personal healing, their own growth, anything about developing their own psychic gifts, or about the greater processes that are occurring now for the planet. Everything is welcome, and what one person asks usually serves the entire group. So it's a very interesting and synchronistically guided program and process. And I've seen people go into incredible states of consciousness, have visionary experiences like they never had before, had experiences of deep meditation and emotional release that they hadn't had before. And everyone leaves happy and shiny, and it leaves an impact on people that carries with them for quite some time. So I have shared these ceremonies in 10 countries, and I've studied around the world, not just with these teachers, but also in India and Peru, and all of this comes together in what I offer. And it's so incredible to be able to do this. It's my passion, it's my love. Holding these ceremonies is one of the most exciting things that happens in my life. Perhaps it's the most exciting thing. I can't think of anything much more exciting. There's maybe a couple of things, but it really is my passion, and the people I connect with and the experiences that I have and they have really keep me going, and I can't wait to share it more. So thanks for tuning into this video. It gives you a bit of a peek into the world of cacao ceremonies and how this works. And just one thing about cacao as well is that it is a very variable plant. So I do meet some people who say that they've had cacao and they can't imagine it being something that would be powerful enough to hold a ceremony, or that they went to a cacao ceremony and it's not something that they felt they connected so deeply with. And for one, this cacao is pure cacao paste, so it has the whole bean intact. Cacao is a fruit that grows in a pod. They're little beans covered with this white, delicious, fluffy outside, and the beans are dried and fermented, and then they are toasted lightly, and then they are ground and turned into a paste that is like a deep liquid kind of gooey stuff that then dries and becomes this. So there's not really raw cacao. There is raw cacao beans, but raw cacao, like most raw nuts and seeds, have anti-nutrients in that when you eat them, they do have some negative properties for your health. They are a bit slightly toxic, so it's not good to eat raw cacao in general. And actually most people who sell you cacao that is raw cacao in like the form of a paste or in a bar, that isn't raw cacao, because the cacao has to be toasted in order to get the shell off. So this is as close as raw as it gets, and cacao is one of those foods that it's kind of contradictory to that rule about raw foods. It's actually better for you when it is slightly cooked. And anyway, this cacao, it's pure intact. It has everything in it. And so cacao powder will not have the full quality of cacao. It's missing a lot. It's missing the cacao fat and a lot of the alkaloids. So cacao is also having two different strains. So like I said, cacao is sacred to the people of Central America. In South America, they had different plants. They also had cacao that was slightly different. It's more sweet and the beans are bigger. Yet it also has more caffeine and less of the compounds that make cacao so blissful and magical. And for this reason, it is not as good for ceremony because it can be more stimulating and it doesn't leave such a soft impression that allows you to go into the meditations with the same ease. So people often do use this other strain of cacao, or the hybridization between the two strains, in ceremony, though, like I said, it can be more stimulating, and for people who are sensitive to caffeine, they might not be able to concentrate or surrender into that deeper space of opening with the other kinds of cacao. So it is important to know where the cacao does come from, and why. Speaking of the chemistry of cacao, what makes it so heart-opening? There's a lot of different factors. We don't understand all of the different hundreds of compounds that are in cacao just yet. One is theobromine, and cacao, Theobroma cacao, which is the scientific name for cacao, does get its name from this compound, which means food of the gods. So, or perhaps they named theobromine after the name Theobroma cacao, food of the gods, because obviously these ancient people, when they were met by the Spanish, did show a great reverence for this cacao that has unfortunately died down, is now waking up with this cacao renaissance of sorts. So theobromine is a light stimulant. It keeps you focused without giving you the buzz. It's also present in yerba mate. And cacao also contains compounds that help the body produce oxytocin, which is the human touch compound. And so people have associated chocolate with this deep love and sensuality because it has the same compounds that our body gets from touch already built into it. And we kind of come into the space with this deep love. Drinking cacao in a way is like a self-love ritual for sure. And the anandamide is only produced in the body when you are born and when you give birth. So in a way, a lot of people have seen cacao as this tool for rebirthing yourself, as it has this anandamide in it. And anandamide, again, Ananda is the Sanskrit name for bliss. So it is really a bliss plant and a bliss property that is evoked through cacao. And yeah, you just have to see for yourself and try out a cacao ceremony, and check out my website blissbeings.com, or contact me to see if I have cacao ceremonies coming up in the area. You can order this cacao, Keith's Cacao, from me. Check out the link in the description and you'll get a slight discount from ordering through me, and we will support each other in a glorious way. So thanks for watching this video. I hope you've really enjoyed it, and I'm sending you lots of love and a big hug on this beautiful best day ever. Ciao ciao.